Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to 18 WJTS TV. I'm Bill Potter with the WJTS News. The Jasper School Board met for their monthly meeting on Monday. It was a quick meeting due to the short agenda. After approving the budget and curriculum update for the 2021-22 school year, the board allowed the audience to make any comments they felt necessary. There was an increase in attendance for this meeting. The room was filled with mostly parents and others who advocated for masks not to be worn in the schools. 3 people spoke out in hopes to continue the optional mask policy that begins on October 4th. After the crowd gave their final comments, the board adjourned. The next school board meeting for Jasper will be held October 25th at 7 p.m. in the Jasper High School Community Room. A large-scale counter-terrorism training exercise is taking place along the Ohio River this week. The exercise, called Operation Thunderstruck, begins at 9 a.m. on Friday, October 1st at Cardinal Stadium in Kentucky at the Clark County Fairgrounds in southern Indiana. Over 350 first responders and officials will participate in the exercise, including representatives of federal, state, and local governments, as well as non-governmental organizations and the private sector. Specific goals include training personnel and educating the community about plans and processes designed to respond to such an incident, while also identifying capability gaps so they can be immediately addressed and resolved. Operation Thunderstruck is sponsored by the Indiana Department of Homeland Security, Kentucky Division of Emergency Management, Kentucky Office of Homeland Security, and the Louisville Metro Emergency Services. Indiana continues with the latest wave of COVID-19 with 2,378 new cases reported Tuesday afternoon as of 1 o'clock for the state and 89 new deaths. As of Tuesday, there have been a total of 956,548 cases of COVID-19 and a total of 15,069 deaths reported in the state, with 492 additional deaths ruled as probably associated with COVID-19. Now, there have also been 108 confirmed cases of multisystem inflammatory syndrome in children. As of right now, only 55.5% of Indiana's population is fully vaccinated. 98.953% of Indiana's COVID numbers are those who are unvaccinated. Tuesday afternoon, DuBois County had 48 new cases and 1 new death. The Indiana Department of Health reported a 7-day positivity rate of 13% amongst all tests and 22.7% amongst unique individuals. As of right now, only 59.2% of the county is fully vaccinated. For the surrounding counties, as of Tuesday at 1 o'clock, Spencer had 9 new cases with 52.1% of its population vaccinated. Davies County has 31 new cases with only 37.2% of its population vaccinated. Martin has 8 new cases with 41.4% of its population vaccinated. Orange saw 6 new cases with 49.4% of its population vaccinated. Pike County has 6 new cases with just 43.6% of its population vaccinated. Crawford has 2 new cases with 46.8% of its population vaccinated. Perry shows 5 new cases with 58.6% of its population vaccinated. And Warwick County has 26 new cases, and in the area they lead with 65.1% of its population vaccinated. Now, 30% of ICU beds for Indiana District 10 are in use for COVID alone. Now, schedule your first shot. To get scheduled for your first shot, please go to ourshot.in.gov. You find a complete breakdown of COVID-19 statistics by going to coronavirus.in.gov. If you've been putting off recycling those aluminum cans, this weekend is the time to get rid of them. The next Davies County Right to Life aluminum can and paper drive takes place on Saturday, October 2nd. Those who live in Davies County can bring their items to the Tractor Supply Company parking lot in Washington. This is the main location for the paper drive and is open from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. All other locations around the county are open 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Martin County residents can bring their items to the Martin County Recycling Center between 9 a.m. and 12 noon. Right to Life is also asking for volunteers for the event. If you can volunteer, even for just an hour, contact Louis Cavanaugh Jr. at 812-486-3658, 486-3658. If you live in Martin County and can volunteer, please call Van McAtee at 812-295-4251, 295-4251. Or come out the day of the paper drive and go to the paper drive location. Memorial Hospital and Healthcare Center was recently designated a lung cancer screening center by the American College of Radiology. The designation is a volunteer program that recognizes facilities that have committed to the practice of safe, effective diagnostic care for individuals at the risk of lung cancer. In order to receive this elite distinction, facilities must be accredited by the ACR in computed tomography in the chest module, as well as undergo a rigorous assessment of its lung cancer screening protocol and infrastructure. Also required are procedures in place for follow-up patient care, such as counseling and smoking cessation programs. An event with a fall-themed fun for all ages is coming to Chrisney this weekend. The annual St. Martin Fall Social takes place from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central Time on Sunday, October 3rd at 58 South Church Street in Chrisney. Families have the chance to partake in a variety of foods, including Norb's famous soup, pork chop dinners, fried chicken dinners, outside concession stand, sweet shop, and homemade ice cream and cobblers. Social events include pick a prize auction, a silent auction, cruise-in car show, quilt raffle, half-pot drawing, hourly and attendance prizes, and a cake wheel. Attendees can also enter 3 different raffles for chances to win a fire pit, Apple Watch 6, and Holiday World season passes. Other activities include face painting, fun for the kids, and live music by Nick Hamilton. For more information, visit the St. Martin Catholic Parish Annual Social Event Facebook page. Leaves may be falling as the temperatures cool down, but the number of fish at public fishing sites won't be. The DNR plans to stock over 130 public fishing sites across Indiana with approximately 67,000 catfish this fall. State fish hatcheries are harvesting channel catfish and plan to stock them now through November 15th. These lake and reservoir stockings occur annually or every other year, depending on the number of catfish produced at state hatcheries and the request from DNR fisheries management staff. The catfish stocked will be 8 to 10 inches in length, with some 12 to 14 inches in size. With careful handling and transport, most newly stocked catfish quickly acclimate to their new environment and offer immediate opportunities to interested anglers. The bag limit for channel catfish is 10 per day, and there is no minimum size limit. This year's fall channel catfish stocking locations, numbers, and requested sizes can be found online at wildlife.in.gov/fishing. The expanded Indiana Digital Archives has a new home and name. It is now known as the Research Indiana Indexes and has over 1.36 million names and entries. The site allows users to search the names of Hoosiers indexed in the Indiana State Archives historical collection, spanning more than 200 years. It has everything previously available on the Indiana Digital Archives, like Civil War and other military records, original land sales, and prison records. It also has over 100,000 additions and increased search capabilities. New features include naturalization tables for several counties, including Orange, Perry, Posey, Spencer, Vandenberg, and Washington counties. Hoosiers can use the site to find an ancestor in the earliest state pharmacist records or browse through a list of 19th century petitions submitted for pardons from the governor. The Research Indiana Indexes will be regularly updated as additional records are indexed and reviewed. All indexes are created by the Indiana State Archives dedicated group of volunteers. If you're interested in becoming a volunteer, please email them at arc@iara.in.gov. Here's a note: the Indiana Bureau of Motor Vehicle branches will be closed for the holiday weekend in a few weeks. All Indiana BMV branches are closed from Saturday, October 9th to Monday, October 11th in observance of the Columbus Day holiday. Branches will resume regularly scheduled business hours on Tuesday, October 12th. For a complete list of branch locations and hours, to complete an online transaction or find a 24-hour BMV Connect kiosk near you, visit in.gov/BMV. And now stay tuned. Your weekly forecast, Sports with Kurt Guxell and WJTS Inform are still to come on the WJTS News.